Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Popcorn Talks. I am one half of the podcast, RelayTS, alongside me, Crenbeast. Before we even get started, just a huge spoiler warning. We're going to be spoiling what's happened in all of Manifest, first of all, and what's happened in episode 1 and episode 2 of season 4 so far. It is 5 a.m. We just watched the two episodes, and now we're going to do our first reaction. And then later today, we'll be doing a reaction of the whole entirety of part 1, because part 1 is 10 episodes, and honestly, we started at 3 a.m. We're not gonna, go until noon just to do a whole part 1 reaction. But yeah, Kren, take it away.
Yeah, so guys, we're recording this at 5:20 a.m. in the morning, because we both went to sleep, woke up at 3. We're on Eastern time, so that's when Manifest dropped, and our plan was just to watch it, and we were gonna watch episode 1 and then do a reaction. And then we couldn't stop watching, so we ended up watching 2. And if it wasn't for us just being absolute freaks of nature, we would have sat here and watched all 10 episodes.
But we're disciplined now that we, we're going pretty much daily.
I'm going through withdrawals already. So
yeah.
We went into this season with like multiple. Obviously, we had theories. A lot of things.
I feel like both of us had like different expectations too, though.
Yeah, true, but. As far as expectations, the one thing that we were really hoping was that the production, and not production from a budget CGI standpoint, but just from the corny script writing and everything, we were hoping it was a little better because Netflix took over. Now, it had the same creative team, production team, but there's less rules in place. You don't have to follow the same corny script.
It's not so cookie cutter
as when it's on network. So we were hoping that made it better. And I think from the very get-go, you could tell it's so much better.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Josh Dallas, who plays Ben Stone, I love his character right now. And like what he's going through and everything. It's so much better than what it was. I feel like he was, like Kren said earlier, off air, he was saying like he thinks that his character was being held back. And I think it was with the previous script writing, because this season he's so much like, it feels like they're all more comfortable, like acting for some reason. I don't know. It just seems
Michaela seems like a better. Like,
yeah.
That whole she seems better. Everybody just seems. Now again, we've talked about this, and I keep referring it to as soap opera acting. That's kind of what it's felt like up to this point. It's felt like a typical crime show where it's the same exact thing is going to happen every episode. So far, we're 2 episodes in, and I don't get that, sense at all.
Yeah.
Also, one thing, and we talked about this when we were watching it, but the music is so much better.
There's not like someone subs their toe and it just goes a big drop.
Well, and the reason for that is, I know, again, we talked about it off air, but the reason for that is because when it's made for NBC Network, obviously they have commercial cuts built in, and they film it or they edit for that. So it'll have like this big lead up, like with nothing, just so it can cut to a commercial. Now we don't have that, so that's much better. But so overall impressions, again, guys, if we say something that you think is hilarious because you've already watched all of part 1, like if we're talking about how awesome a person is, and it turns out that they end up being like horrible, I mean, actually roast us. I don't really care. Just make sure to leave a comment. On that note, 5-star review, no matter where you're listening. YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, all that. Anyway, first impression. So episode 1, I think we were pretty captured by it, because one of my biggest complaints through Manifest throughout the whole show is I have a hard time getting into it, because I like the story, but it's just so much like little side quests going on that I really don't care about. Like, just to be honest, this is the first time I'm watching Manifest since episode 1 of season 1 that I've like just been totally in, and I don't want to put it down.
We were literally on the edge of our seats like throughout the whole entire episode of episode 1, and I mean it led up. I think episode 1 of season 4 was perfect. Like, it was just like the perfect way to bring back Manifest. And I have a few like worries, and we both do, like going throughout part 1, and we'll get to that. But like Episode 1, I was literally paying attention the whole time. Didn't really check my phone at all like I usually do. Like Karen said, like it's easy to get distracted. It was at least in season 2 and 3, because there were just some boring dialogue, some boring parts. But I feel like this time it had a different mood to it. Like Karen said, the music was better, the acting was better. Uh, Ben Stone or Josh Allen's character Ben Stone is like in a way different state of mind. He's like pretty much going insane, and I don't know, the build up to that plot twist at the end of episode 1 was that plot twist was pretty crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
So let's go back to Ben. I think we kind of saw that coming from the trailer when anytime we saw the big beard and we were like, okay, bro is probably locked up in a basement somewhere trying to like piece things together. He's lost his mind, but like it's worse probably than we thought. Like he's just straight up ignoring his son. He's ignoring like that.
Well, it seems like he's quietly still blaming Cal.
Yeah, no, for sure. They keep alluding to that,
Yeah.
and he's saying that he's not, but he definitely is. And throughout at least episode 1, he kind of comes to grips a little bit, after, but nobody believes him. I think that's the biggest thing is everyone thinks first off the world thinks Cal's dead.
Yeah.
So that can't be easy, just like keeping that to yourself. But also everyone thinks Eden's dead and Angelina, which that girl we'll talk about her later.
And he's still getting over his wife's death.
I don't even think he ever mourned that because the moment it happened, he immediately went into search mode trying to find Eden, and it feels like he has a lot of pent up like anger and sadness and frustration. And I don't know, you definitely have, first off, like you said, Josh Dallas is incredible. He's by far the most talented actor on this entire project, but it's really interesting because Ben throughout seasons 1, 2, and 3 was through seasons 1, 2, and the first half of 3 was always the most composed. He was the leader. He was the one that everybody looked to.
He slowly got unhinged.
And then you saw through season 3 where, he gets arrested. He starts to make these little mistakes. And it becomes more and more like he attacks the guy. Well, that's why he got arrested. He attacks the guy, throws him, almost kills him. Like there's all these little moments. And there's moments where he got stopped where he would have probably killed somebody. And you can just see it getting to him. And then we cut to season 4 and dude has been locked up in an attic, just beautiful mind style, piecing stuff together. And I don't know, man, it's a really, that to me was probably, that's what I'm most interested in because I like as cool as it is, like you always want to see like the quote villain's origin story. But I want it to end. I want old Ben back.
I do to an extent. I don't really care to like, I don't like this Eden storyline that much. I mean, I do, but like, I don't want it to be dragged on. And I think Kren doesn't like that either. But like, if this Eden story goes on for the next 8 episodes, I'm going to have a hard time paying attention.
That's my biggest worry.
And I think it won't. I think it's probably going to end by episode 5 at the latest, personally, because he just found out at the end of episode 2 that she's alive.
Yeah.
So that's like the first big step. And then Angelina got sort of like trapped. And now I don't know his name, but the one guy broke her out.
Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian, the crazy guy, cult leader.
Adrian's the worst.
But yeah. So basically the Eden storyline is making Ben like he is. And I don't ever think he'll go back to like being the old Ben, but I think he will. Like, he'll end up getting a clean shave and like he'll be somewhat.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
There's going to be a moment at the end of one of these episodes
100% where he gets a haircut.
Where he just like it like pans dramatically over to him, and there's like a shaving. There's like a shaving tool. There's like a razor like sitting on the sink, and then it like pans to his face, and he's like clean shave. And it's gonna be like the signal for like the old man's back. But I don't know. My biggest fear, and you might be listening to this after you've watched part 1. Again, this is only for episodes 1 and 2. My biggest fear is that they're going to drag out the Eden storyline for 10 episodes, but the only way I'd be okay with that is if Eden plays a much bigger role in the storyline than we realize.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this. That baby, first off, did save Angelina. Like something's weird is going on there. No doubt about it. Like the whole guardian angel thing, obviously Angelina's crazy, but something is there that's weird.
Yeah.
She's obviously connected. She's having callings. She's drawing out the windmill that Ben and that
At 3 years old.
yeah. She's definitely something's weird going on there. And I think there might be some weird tie to everything that she could end up being more important than we think. I mean, we've talked about this too. For God's sake, everything in the show has some sort of biblical tie to it.
And her name is literally Eden.
Noah's Ark, all the angel stuff, like the Revelations, like, hell times. And her name is Eden.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, there's obviously, guys, if you want to find theories for this show,
just read the Bible.
Pick up the Bible. Like, I promise you, it feels like everything they're doing is like taking bits and pieces from the Bible, but not even in a religious context, just from like the way it was written, scripture and like historical context.
Yeah.
Because like Noah's Ark is a story that's been told not just in the Bible, but in other texts as well. Now, it's not all religious. Like, so I don't know the route they're about to take this, but by God, the moment that we stop hitting record, I'm about to find out.
Yeah, and I'm not only curious like on how the storyline's going to unfold and like that I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the next episode, but I'm curious of how they planned out both parts and like, how long are they going to go on this scientific route, and then when are they going to go on the whole religious route again, and like, just how they piece this together, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but most of you probably did. It got canceled by NBC, obviously. Now it's only having one more season with 20 episodes, by the way, part 2. I seen in my comment section someone said it's not coming out till June, which is not surprising.
I refuse to believe it.
Hopefully it's not true. But anyways, this show was originally supposed to be like 6-7 seasons. And that's why they're having this 2-part, 1 season, like 20 episodes. And they have to fit in this huge storyline. So I'm hoping that they still get to explain the storyline in a good way and not rush the entire thing and it still ends up in a good ending. But I'm more curious about how that's going to play out.
Yeah, that was again another worry I had coming in, was that this story, I believe it was originally written for 7 seasons. So that having to wrap that up in the 4th season, that's tough. Even if it's 20 episodes, that's tough.
I mean, the first 2 episodes have been good so far, so.
No, it's going to be great. I'm 2 episodes in, and I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about being able to wrap it up in a way where I'm satisfied. Like, I'm worried that the last 3 or 4 episodes are going to be rushed, and they're going to be, like, packed a lot of information in it to where it's not cohesive, and I just, like, you know what I mean? Like shows have done this before. And it's not their fault. It's because they're on a budget and they have to like finish the story.
Well, and that's why it might be good that they're on Netflix now, because it seems like the first 2 episodes weren't like really slow. Like, they had a fair amount of action in them.
The whole season might be like that because they're having to.
So to be like consistent maybe, and then by the end we'll actually have a somewhat satisfying ending. But who knows?
We'll see. That I mean, right now, I think my 2 biggest worries are pacing and like how they carry the storyline. And then the ending, obviously. But because, guys, if you don't know, this is the final season. That is confirmed. Final season, the story will wrap up. That they actually almost made this a movie when NBC.
That would have been even worse.
Yeah. So when NBC like shut it down, Netflix originally entered the bidding for it and then backed out. It said no, and nobody was buying it. So then the creator tried to sell the script or sell the rights to some different box office to try to get a movie made out of it, because he was adamant the end of the story needs to be told because he thinks it's that good. And luckily Netflix swooped in and ended up buying it, obviously, which was a huge pickup on their part, by the way. So I just read this today. When Manifest first got put back at the end of 2021 on Netflix, it trended on their top 10 for 3 straight months. And
there were like some good shows coming out at that time too.
Yeah, so that's wild. So I think Netflix realized, hey, it wasn't flopping on NBC, but I think they realized this is a very like conspiracy theorist type of show. Maybe it doesn't work with the older crowd as much as we thought. Like maybe the younger crowd likes it a little bit more, which speaks to why it's so popular on Netflix as compared to what it was doing on NBC. And I don't know the ratings on NBC. I'm sure the ratings were fine. I think the cast and creative team wouldn't have been. They were shocked. It seems like when it got canceled. So like if it's not doing well, they wouldn't have been shocked. So it was probably doing fine. That's an easy Google search. I'm just not worried about it.
But I mean, season 4, it looks like it's going to be by far the greatest season.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because season one was weird because it starts out with this great plot. Like plane lands 5 years later, holy crap, I'm all in, right? But I watched that when it first came out, like the premiere on NBC that night. And because I remember they were hyping it up via commercials, all that stuff. And I watched it, and in my mind, I was like, this is awesome. This is a story. This is everything I've ever wanted in a story. But the problem was the acting was cheesy. The way they produced it was cheesy.
The writing.
Everything, yeah, the writing was cheesy. And I couldn't get past the acting, just to be honest. And I watched like 4 episodes and then gave up. And then I rediscovered it, I don't know, like January of this year. And I watched like all of season 1 and a little bit of season 2. And then I just got back into it recently, but it was still a struggle to watch a little bit because I love the story and I've wanted to find out what the heck's going on.
Yeah,
like the nose art and all this stuff, but I just haven't been able to get over some of the problems I've had with it. And now, through the first 2 episodes of season 4, no problems. Like, I could sit here and pick it apart, and I'm sure as more time goes on, when my recency bias leaves, I'll have some issues with it. But right now, all I want to do is turn on episode 3.
Yeah, we literally did not want to film this, and we wanted to watch episode 3, but obviously we have to.
Yeah.
But like, so let's try to predict. Like, how do you think part 1 is going to end? If you had to guess. Like, I know we have a very small sample size, only 1 to 2 episodes, but we obviously have a good vibe of what's going to happen.
So I can't decide if they're going to wrap up one whole storyline. Like, again, I'm worried that they're going to drag out the Eden thing all 10 episodes.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
So it could be a cross, like, it ends with 2 or 3 storylines being alleviated. So, like, maybe he finally is reunited and finds Eden. You find out Eden's actually important, and then, like, maybe you also find out how Noah's Ark is tied to it.
Well, here's what I think. I think that the Eden storyline will end around episode 4 and 5. Like, because it's the end of episode 2. He already knows that she's alive. He knows that she's Angelina. Angelina's already almost got caught.
Yeah.
So I have a strong, good feeling that's going to end around episode 4 or 5, and that'd be perfect because it's been a good storyline so far.
Yeah.
And then I think transitioning from 5 to 6 to 7, 8, and then into the end of part 1, I think we'll get more into the guy from Singapore. I forget his name. In his connection with Cal and the thing on the tattoo on the wrist. I think we'll get more into that, and we'll start learning more about all that connection.
I think we both had the same theory on that tattoo. So the tattoo, they keep calling it a dragon. But if you remember, at the end of season 3,
the crazy scientist lady.
I don't remember her name.
I don't
she was.
I didn't like her. That's why I didn't remember her name.
Doctor something. I don't remember her name. But so she was hardcore. And to talk, who we're talking about when they were in
the NSA doing the science experiments.
What do they call the Eureka? So when they were in Eureka, it was the doctor science lady who was hardcore trying to like continue testing, and they were like, no, that woman. So if you remember, she actually, the reason she became on their side and let them get out with the tailfin is because Cal had written out and drawn out some, callings. No one knew what it meant. And then when she saw it, she immediately recognized, they thought it was a dragon that he had drawn. And it was the constellation that she had been looking at for like years when she was a kid.
Yeah, looking for a grandmother.
Because, and she said this earlier in that episode, that when her grandmother was sick, dying, she told her that she was going to be in the stars to look for her. So, like, obviously, that's just something people tell you. And she looked in the stars, and that's the reason she's not religious. We learned that is because she believes in science is the, secret to everything. Religion is not real because she couldn't see her grandmother in the stars. So When the moment she sees this, she realizes something supernatural is happening. I think that the dragon on the arms are actually that constellation.
I agree. I don't think that's a dragon, and I think that's
Well, it could be a dragon because, like, the constellations make something up. Like all of the astrology signs, like Pisces is the fish. Like one of them's a horse. Like the constellations make up animals.
But so far, they haven't figured out that it's the same as the.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't think it's weird because Samvi, is that her name Samvi?
Yeah.
I just had a brain fart.
Yeah.
Samvi was there. She saw the tattoo, and she was also there. Like I feel like she would recognize that, or maybe she just hasn't put two and two together. I don't know because that's got to be what it is.
Yeah.
There's got to be some relation there.
And then we still have the whole Noah's Ark thing and like all that. So that's obviously going to be connected. So I think they're going to go like, they're going to get into that. And at the end, at least I hope they get into that at the end of part one. Like toward like the back half of part one, I hope we find the discovery of all that. So I'm really excited to get started, like watching it.
Honestly. Yeah. I mean, again, the one thing in this show is like the religious context and them looking to the divine is so, it's weird because you don't see that in modern day TV very often.
I've never seen that.
So I'm really, and again, they're really, it's more of the historical like data of like the Bible and of these texts. It's less of like God and more just the stories in it.
Yeah.
Like Noah's Ark. So Noah's Ark, a lot of people, the weird thing about Noah's Ark is people who aren't even religious, people who don't believe in Christianity, they actually believe Noah's Ark could have been real because a lot of people think that remnants of Noah, the whole thing where they were talking about that mountain beside Turkey, and she was like, that's where Noah's Ark was believed to be the final resting place. That's actually what a lot of like biblical scholars and historians believe, is that they think they found fossils and like different, or fossilized like wood. They think they found like different proofs, not proof, but like evidence that Noah's Ark rested on that mountain. So another thing, how many times have we seen that volcano?
We've literally seen it like being foreshadowed probably.
Yeah.
All throughout season 3. Like in the bunker when they had the like they talk about Hawaii, how he always wanted to go climb a volcano.
Yeah. Like
Tariq and all that stuff. So the volcano's been in the conversation for all of season 3 and now into season 4.
Yeah. So
maybe that would be like the big thing at the end of part 1.
When Cal was on the plane with his name is Henry, the Chinese guy.
Yeah.
His name is Henry, and when he was on the plane, they saw the volcano out of the window and it was erupting. So again, my theory on this is if you want to take it back to like religious context, so Noah's Ark was obviously a flood. So in the Bible, there's two like apocalypses, I guess you would say. There's 2 end times, and they keep talking about this.
Yeah, they mention the end times.
Yeah, they keep talking about this. So there's 2. There's the flood of the earth killed everything and everyone. The only people that survived was Noah, the people who joined, and the animals that he brought on the ark. So, but then the next one is yet to happen. It was the proclamation, like the revelation, as the prediction basically, and it's the earth is engulfed in fire, and all this other stuff happens. But what if the volcano it's the warnings, the callings that this is coming, you need to stop it, and it's the volcano. Obviously, also that's the mountain that Noah's Ark rested on.
Yeah, I think that could be a hint of it. But I also think there's more to that storyline as well, because whenever he's looking at the volcano, he looks back in the aisle and Henry's in the calling with him, and Henry tries to hand him something, but his hand's empty. So we know that the connection between Cal and Henry isn't just the tattoo. There's something else there.
But what if what he was handing him was the tattoo?
It could have been. I can't remember if he found out that he had the tattoo before that calling.
It was after.
Okay, after. Okay. But I think there's more to that. I think there's gonna be more. I think that like is gonna be the developing storyline after Ben finally finds Eden, and hopefully like Ben can work with Cal again, and they get over all that whenever Eden's found.
Wait a minute. So the tattoo was after he went and visited him. Did he touch him when he was in the hospital?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Because Cal hasn't had callings like before that for 2 years.
Yeah, he hadn't had a calling since he came back. Which, by the way, we got to talk about this. No hate to the actor that played Cal, to the kid, because I imagine being a kid actor is one of the toughest things on earth. But the older Cal actor, it just makes the show flow so much better. He's so much better. And again, it could be, Cal was a kid actor. That's difficult, and he wasn't bad. There was no problems really. It just kind of like
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm so glad they changed it, and I'm so glad like he's older now, and it's just like you said, it flows way better, and it makes sense. Like with the time jump and everything, and he's just better.
So we're about to wrap up. This is gonna be a shorter episode, and like he said earlier, we're gonna do
part 1.
Yeah, we'll do a mega episode on part 1 with theories, breakdowns, whatever you guys want. By the way, if you guys have ideas for us, join our Discord. Link is in the description wherever you are. We'll do, if there's enough of you, we'll do watch parties. We'll have all kind of theory talks in there. We have voice chats. We have all kind of stuff for you guys. It's brand new, so there's really nobody there, so don't be alarmed when you get in there. Nobody's there. We're trying to build it.
Yeah.
So one last thing. Where did Cal go where did he go to grow up? How did he grow up?
So I'm glad you said that because we obviously have a theory. I posted this on my TikTok, but obviously I don't have any. I have a few manifest followers, but not a lot. So my theory is, and this is a popular fan theory, this isn't just my theory, but we kind of added on to it. We did add on to it. So the original theory was that there's like there's two timelines. And one timeline is where the plane landed and they did whatever, they went through the time warp or whatever. And the other theory, or the other timeline would be when they all died. And when they have the callings, that's when they're going back and like it's divine intervention. But what we said was there's 3 timelines. One where they died, one where they time traveled, and the other one where they landed perfectly fine. Yeah. And if that's the case, then that would explain, first of all, they could have the callings they are fading in and out of other timelines with the callings. And second of all, that's where Cal could time travel whenever he did. He literally went to the dimension or the other timeline where he grew up in the timeline where they landed safely. And then the other one is the dead one, obviously. But that theory is very confusing, but it just explains it because Henry also disappeared. So did the guy in the plane at the end of season 3. So, like, where are they going? Are they just, like...
Well, the Henry part is weird because unless I'm misinterpreting it, from what I understood, he thought he was dead and then he came back. So
and he
knew
we only watched 2 episodes. There's probably gonna be more.
Well, yeah, but this is just a review on 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So, like, what if Henry? So Henry knew about Cal too when he came over. He had his name.
Yeah, because he said the boy. He wanted to see the boy.
What his name written on his? It's Stone 828.
Yeah, Stone 828. Yeah.
And so, like. He obviously remembers something. What if he remembers the missing time that Cal doesn't remember? What if he was there and they had spent time together
in the timeline? Yeah.
And Cal doesn't remember. I don't know. It's Manifest is one of the more confusing plots in television. Now, it's not. It's confusing because of how complex the story is. It's not necessarily purposely confusing like some shows are.
It's just a complex storyline. But the thing that's going to suck is we only have 18 more episodes left. And if the actual storyline is 3 timelines, think about how hard that would be to explain in just 18 episodes. Like all
that's what I'm worried about. There's so much stuff they have to.
But I'm assuming that's probably not the case. Like it's probably not 3 timelines, but it could be.
Well, I mean, it's got to be something. I mean, we can't.
There has to be an alternate timeline, though, right? Or alternate something. Like he couldn't have just went. He couldn't have just. Like, where did he go when he disappeared and touched the...
Well, I mean, if the show is actually going to bring in, like, religious deities like God, then, I mean, could have gone to heaven. Could have gone to whatever this...
Yeah, they could have just straight up died and came back to life. I mean,
I don't know about died. Kyle didn't die. Kyle disappeared.
yeah.
Like,
Well, either way, we're gonna find out
wherever the tail fin had disappeared to and then reappeared in the ocean. That's where Cal went, and wherever the plane went for 5 years, and wherever the plane that the pilot flies off in season 1 went to and then reappeared, wherever they're going to when they fly into the storm, that's where Cal went.
Yeah.
And that, like, I don't understand what that could possibly be. Now, let me tell you, we've talked about this. If they lost us, if this ends up being a lost ending,
they're gonna hear from me.
They're
gonna hear from me because it's that would just like tell me that I feel like that would be the case where it would be a rushed ending because I genuinely do not think.
Well, no, they already have the ending was written from the beginning,
and I don't think this is a lost ending. I really don't. I mean,
well, Lost was a very misunderstood ending in general.
Yeah,
but Manifest, I guess my worry is that Manifest has such a complex ending that it's misunderstood, very similar to Lost.
Yeah, no, that could be the case.
And if you guys are Lost fans, and I'm not a big Lost ending guy, we know this.
Yeah,
we all know this. But if you guys are one of those people that say Lost sucks because you find out they were dead the whole time, let us know, and we'll do a whole episode explaining on that how that's not actually the case. But
well, I think
Manifest.
I don't think Manifest is that case because they have mentioned that they all died and whatever.
No, I mean they're not. They're definitely not going to be dead. My worry is that the ending is so complex that people don't understand it.
Yeah, and that's possible, but obviously people are going to explain it like me, and like us in the podcast. So make sure to subscribe.
Yeah, and follow our TikTok as well. Bonus content there. Instagram. We'll have a Facebook up soon. All that. But so we're gonna end the episode now. There's not too much to talk about. I'm gonna watch episode 3. And guys, we'll have a full part 1. We might do a couple of episodes. I'm not sure yet. We might do one big episode. We might do an episode with a first reaction to it and then theories. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll go with the flow.
Yeah, let us know what you want. Again, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe with noties on. If you're on Apple or Spotify or Google Music or Apple Music, you guys
Audible.
Awesome. Yeah. Leave a 5-star review. Let us know if you have something you want to tell us. DM us on Twitter. All of that will be in the link in the description. And give us a follow everywhere. We got different content going on every platform. A lot of stuff for you guys. And if you want theories, if you have theories, DM them to us. We will credit you if we get the theory from you. If we're feeling like it. No, I'm just kidding. We will credit you. So let us know.
Yeah. I really don't have anything else to say, but you can find me at RelayTS on all socials, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, you name it, I'm there. But yeah.
Yep, same for me at Crenbeast, all socials. And we will see you guys. We'll have another episode. You're listening to this. Well, I don't know when you're listening, but this is going to be posted on a Friday. The day, just a few hours after Manifest came out. We'll probably have the next episode up Saturday morning. It just depends on how quickly we can get it cut up and edited and recorded, obviously. But yeah, with that being said, enjoy Manifest. Let us know what you think. We'll definitely let you know what we think because that's what our lives revolve around at this point. But you guys have a great day / night, and we'll catch you on the other side of part 1.